All right. I can hear. Can you say something? What are you, 2?
I am number 2. Thank you for having me this evening.
I can hear you.
I'm so excited. I drooled a little bit. Well, we've got the Mill Valley defense right here and the Shawnee Mission South Raiders.
That's the freaking magic. You have to hit them at the same time.
Glad I was here to help. Now you can hear me, and I can hear me. Now am I out there?
How can you hear you?
I don't know. He came, and now I can hear me. It's magic.
From what I just really easily glanced at that thing, you're only going to be able to hear her when you have her in that, because you're in like producer mode and you are the host. So you're the only one that's going to be able to hear her, I believe.
Okay.
But
All right.
yeah, but I can hear you just fine. So
And can you hear music?
yep,
Can you hear music? No, you can't, but there's still music.
I can still hear music.
Really? Okay, so this.
Really loud.
Number 1 is the controller
You're
producer.
3 here. How's that? So you can control, your noise right here. Yeah, there we go.
And you can still hear me?
Yeah.
No. But I thought from just the real quick that I read, I think, yeah, he can because you're in producer mode, so he needs the talk back.
Right.
But I don't need it, so.
Biscuits and taquitos and breakfast on a bun. Those are just a few of the things you can make a part of your morning routine at Whataburger. Then again, with so many choices, you could make a routine of not having a routine. But would not having a routine still be a routine? Chew on that for a while. Whataburger breakfast, just like you like it.
There it is, that sweet sound. Good evening, football fans, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Football on your home for all things high school sports, 810 Varsity. For the past 5 Friday nights, the two teams playing here tonight at Jaguar Stadium at Mill Valley High School have collectively won 5 games and lost 5 games. For the visiting 1-4 Raiders of Shawnee Mission South, the path to the 1-4 record has been occupied by Bison and Blazers, Vikings, Eagles, and Firebirds. A list which sounds like they could be part of the next John Wick spinoff movie. But this team isn't made up of Hollywood actors. No, these Raiders are what head coach Nick Foster says are a group of blue-collar, lunch-pail-carrying, gritty, hard-working young men who want to get better and are putting in the work to get better. The lone win for the Raiders so far this season was against a winless Shawnee Mission West team. In their other games, the Raiders held their own. In fact, South is averaging over 25 points a game behind senior signal caller Grant Jennings. More on him in a second. We're moments away from, I believe. There it is. No matter how many times I try to time it just right, David Trimble, it seems like I always end up stepping over myself. But for good reason, as military night here, we're going to step away for the national anthem. And there we are, 5:28 before kickoff here at Jaguar Stadium. I don't know, David Trimble, how about I just take that back from the top? How about this? Good evening, football fans, and welcome to another episode of what I said about 5 minutes ago, a Friday Night Football here on your home for all things high school sports, 810 Varsity. For the past 5 Friday nights, the two teams here tonight at Jaguar Stadium at Mill Valley High have collectively won 5 games and lost 5 games. For the visiting 1-4 Raiders of Shawnee Mission South, the path to 1-4 has been occupied by Bison and Blazers, Vikings and Eagles, and Firebirds, a list which sounds like they would be part of the next John Wick spinoff movie. But this team isn't made up of Hollywood actors. No, these Raiders are what head coach Nick Foster calls a group of blue-collar, gritty, lunch-pail-carrying, hard-working young men who want to get better and are putting in the work to get better. The lone win for the Raiders so far this season was against a winless Shawnee Mission West squad. In their other games, the Raiders held their own. In fact, South is averaging over 25 points a game behind senior signal caller Grant Jennings, who has quietly put up some of the best numbers throughout the entire Sunflower League this season. Jennings averages over 120 through the air and another 60 on the ground. His talents are complemented by a group of veteran skill players such as brothers Ben and Jake Johnson. The fellow seniors have joined their Wonder Twin powers and activated for over 850 yards from scrimmage so far. On defense, the Raiders are young, but they are talented. 3 defenders have over 30 tackles on the season, and the rest of the defense is improving every game. For the 4-1 Jaguars, well, what's old is new again. After a paltry offensive display against one of the top teams in the state, and of course that was Gardner Edgerton, they did their best Stella impression, and they got their offensive groove back. Led by one of the top running backs throughout the entire state, that is senior Tristan Baker. Mill Valley exploded for 77 points, new school record last week. Baker had 6 of those touchdowns, nearly 250 yards from scrimmage, and as the touchdown maker goes, so go the Jaguars. The Mill Valley defense is also finding their identity. And Yeah, they really held the high-octane Falcon defense last week to only 22 points, well under their season average. With so much firepower here tonight, it's like a military parade. Fitting, because it is Military Appreciation Night here at Jaguar Stadium, and you have a front row seat to all the action all night long, live and only on the high school sports leader throughout the entire region. That's A10 Varsity. Friends, kickoff comes up in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. We'll be right back.
Lieutenant Commander Bowling is an active duty officer who has served for 22 years. 10 years in the Marine Corps and as an artilleryman, and 12 years in the Navy as an engineer. Lieutenant Commander Bowling has a focus of structural engineering and acquisitions management, currently serving in Mayport, Florida, at the Southeast Regional Maintenance Center. Lieutenant Commander Bowling would like to thank his daughter, Grace, as she continues to support his career. At this time, all active duty and retired military personnel, please stand to be honored. Thank you for your service. Shawnee Mission South has won the toss and deferred to the second half.
And welcome back here to Jaguar Stadium in beautiful Western Shawnee, Kansas. Sean Brewer, David Trimble, Crystal Babb, Hayden Kelo, Nolan Rader. We got the whole crew up here. We got the A-Team and me up here this week, and glad that you're spending some of your Friday evening with us here on A10 Varsity. Jaguars coming in with a record of 4-1. Their opponent, playing host to the Raiders, is Shawnee Mission South, coming in with a record of 1-4. Records that may be a little bit deceiving, at least on the part of South. One of the highest scoring offenses in the Sunflower League. They won the toss. They will defer until the second half. And we're about to see Adam Olson kick off to the Jaguars. Taking around the 25, punches out to the 30. He's got a little room in front of him. Finally brought down around the 34-yard line. Tackle by Carpenter, but not before Andy Watts puts the Jaguars in great field position to get things started here. Week 5, or I beg your pardon, this is week 6.
Counting is
1,
hard.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are here at a school, so it's only appropriate that I practice. Need a lot of practice and a lot of thanks. 1st and 10, get our first look at the new, kind of the revamped high-octane offense of these Jaguars. They put up 77 points last week against fairly salty defense in Olathe South. Let's see how the defense of the Raiders from Shawnee Mission South fare against this offense. Blaine takes the hands it off to Baker. Little stutter step move. He's going to get a short gain of about 1.5, 2, called around 2nd and 8 for the Jaguars.
And I would like to see them use the run to develop their passing game, because they've been very run heavy this season.
And Tristan Baker gets around the edge. He tries to get to that edge, and he's able to get around all the way out to the 42-yard line. Going to bring up 3rd and short for the Jags. Adam Olson. You're going to hear that name an awful lot this evening on offense, on defense, on special teams, and on the stop. Another handoff. Why not? 1, 2, 3, just like that. All 3 of the plays of the Jaguars goes to number 21. Because, 2 plus 1 on that same math theme. 2 plus 1 is 3, but I can't get there to the first down. So we'll have to kind of regroup on that. And just like that, at the 11:08, just 52. You see how I did that quick math? 52 seconds into this one, the Raiders, Shawnee Mission South, pulling out their charge card. A charge a timeout. And we're going to take a quick break here. Your home for high school sports, 810varsity.com. Be right back.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. Just like we're always making sure produce meets our standards for feeding your family. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
11:08 left in the first. No score. First drive from scrimmage for the Jaguars. They have a 1st and 10 behind 3 runs from everything running back, number 21, Tristan Baker. Baker, also the 810 Varsity Children's Mercy Hospital Athlete of the Week this past week. Congratulations to Tristan Baker. More on him throughout the broadcast. And again, make it 4 in a row. Tristan Baker cuts it back up. He's got a little room. He's able to kind of sashay, and then he just goes ahead and kind of dumps his head forward to get that first down. Going to move the chains. That is 4 runs in a row for the Bell Cow.
And Mill Valley is wanting to get up on the line of scrimmage and move quickly.
There's number 5 for 21. Punches it down to around the 40-yard line of the Raiders. Luke Notsky in there on the stop for the Raiders. Luke Notsky, that's his 2nd tackle, I believe, on the evening. Blaine, this time, might have gone to the well one too many times there. And Tristan Baker, he just met a whole lot of beef, and that is Mr. Noyce. I don't know how many times in his young life he's heard this, but Noyce with a nice play. The big 6'2", 210-pounder for the Raiders. Brings up 3rd and a manageable, it's about 7. So 3rd and long for the Jaguars. Blaine hands it off to Baker, and he's got some room. Baker turns the corner to the 30, down to the 20. He's finally pushed out around the 14-yard line. 1st and 10 Jaguars. C.J. Serrano finally catches up with him, pushes him out of bounds, but not before they move the chains. 9:50 left here in the first, and the Jags are rolling. Blaine hands it off to Baker again. This time they go to the left. Baker cuts it back up inside the 10. Carpenter with another stop. Carpenter is all over the field for this Raider defense.
And it would be a huge moral victory if they could hold him to 3 here. I'm not sure if I see that happening. This Mill Valley offense is working it.
Indeed they are. 9:21 left here in the first quarter. Blaine somehow, how about that, a fortuitous bounce back into the waiting palms to the paws of Daniel, don't call me David Blaine. That could have been disastrous. The announcer Jinx, thanks a lot. If you're a Mill Valley fan out there listening to us, you can say thanks to David Trimble. Write all your hate mail to him in care of 810 Varsity. The announcer Jinx.
And I wonder if that was just, maybe it's a cooler night than he's used to. Had a little bit of a sting on that.
Blaine looks to the sideline. Single back set is Baker to his left. 2 tight end look. Twin receivers to the top of your screen. Another handoff to Baker. He's going the wide and a long way around. He's going to the corner. He's not going to quite get there, but he does have enough for another first down. 1st and goal, Jaguars. C.J. Serrano getting it done again, saving a touchdown for the Raiders.
Serrano is hot like the pepper.
I think so. We don't have any birds. We don't have to talk about beaks or noses tonight, so we're off to a good start. Blaine takes a snap. You know who's going to get it. That is touchdown maker Tristan Baker, and you know what he does. He just scores touchdowns for the Jaguars. Tristan Baker, touchdown maker. Makes it 6-0 at the 8:05 left in the first mark.
And there go the lights. Do not adjust your set everybody.
If you're seizure prone, look away from your screen. Now, because the lights are flashing here, does that have the same impact on somebody that's watching it on their TV or on their computer or their internet device?
I mean, it does come through, but I don't think it quite comes through when you are here seeing the whole stadium doing that. It's just amazing. And
Loftman's, he's always money. Get Loftman's extra point is up and it's good. Make it 7-0. 8:05 left to play in the first quarter. 7-0 is your score. Mill Valley over Shawnee Mission South. We'll be right back.
That carryout comes in clutch.
Welcome back to Mill Valley. We're at Jaguar Stadium. 8:05 left in the first. Mill Valley up 7-0. Johnson and Olson are back deep, standing at their goal line, but have Kenton Loftman, one of the top kickers in the entire region. If his previous work is an indicator, this one's probably going to go beyond the goal line. This one's going to be just a little bit shy, going to be taking it around the 5-yard line by Johnson. He zigs a little bit out to the 20, and the Raiders are going to have their first drive that starts at their own 20-yard line, tackle by Peter to bring down Johnson.
And we will get our first look at the offense, who, as Sean mentioned, has put up some respectable numbers. They've got, what were you saying, averaging 24 a game, which
25,
is nothing
David.
to slouch at.
25 points. Get it right.
24, 25, 220, 221, whatever it takes.
That's exactly right. Mr. Mom, one of the great American classics. Right at 8 minutes left in the first. 1st and 10 Raiders. First drive of the game. Going right out. Quick pass. That was almost a reception. Almost an interception. All in the span of a split second. Braden Peter there. Brandon Peter there to break up the pass. And we go up 2nd and 10 for Shawnee Mission South. Twin receivers to the top of your screen. 2 to the bottom. 10 personnel look out of the eye. Behind Grant Jennings is Ben Johnson. And Jennings, that's going to back up Jennings and crew about 5 yards. Going to make it 2nd and 15. Not exactly the kind of start that Coach Nick Foster expected out of his Raider crew.
Well, I think any coach hates to have the negative plays on there. But, you know, maybe it's still, again, maybe it's the first cold night. They're getting used to it, you know, wearing extra layers and gloves and things like that. Just getting settled in.
2nd and 15 from their own 15-yard line for the Raiders. That's Grant Jennings looking to pass again. He's got a receiver on the near side. A little bit too hot. Tried to get Jake Johnson, the brother of Ben Johnson. Or should I say Ben is the brother of Jake?
Well,
either way.
I'm not sure if they're related. They are brothers.
They are brothers.
But I don't think it's relation. Is that how that I'm not sure how that works.
No, I guess, yeah, we won't be going to you for genealogy studies and a hard count, and that's kind of uncharacteristic for the Jaguars. But number 5, Jaden Woods on the near side, lining up in that quick or that defensive end position. He wanted to get just a little bit of a jump because he was smelling blood in the water out of that famed Jaguar defense of this year and years past.
Are Jaguars big swimmers?
They are swimmers. They are swimming cats. But back to the game, 3rd and 10. Grant Jennings Single back is Johnson. Jennings going to pass it again. He's got another receiver in and out of the hands. Carter Cox, the 6'2", 190-pound junior, couldn't hang on to that one, but not through, really, David Trimble. Grant Jennings, he did a really nice job of spreading that ball around his receivers, and you might have something about, the cold weather might be impacting their ability to bring that pigskin in.
Yeah, because Cox, the junior, on the season, he's got 15 receptions for 172 yards, so he can make the plays. He just needs to adjust.
That is Jake Johnson in to punt, and that might have been touched by a Jaguar. I believe the paw hit the pigskin. Little ricochet, but a fortunate bounce and roll, and a little bit more roll for the Raiders. And they're going to mark that just inside Raider territory at their own, the 49 of the Raiders. So great field position for the Jaguars on their second drive. And they're holding on to a 7-0 lead. 7:42 left in the first quarter. First drive from scrimmage for Mill Valley was the Tristan Baker show. I have a feeling we're going to see the sequel on this drive and subsequent drives this evening. Single back set to the right of Blaine is Baker. Guess who gets it? That's Tristan Baker. Plows ahead for 6. Notsky. Big number 55 and James in there making the stop for the Raider D.
And give the O-line of Mill Valley credit because they are creating the holes for him. He's fast, but he can't do that without his big lineman getting it done for him.
And you got Gus Hawkins at 276, Eric Pinner 239, and what a great job he's done this year as we see another great job by Tristan Baker. Going to move the chains. Another first down for Mill Valley, and they are clicking on all cylinders. Official timeout. Might have an equipment issue. We'll see here. I think that's exactly what it is. Going to send that young man. That's number 11, Sawyer Noyce, off for a play to get adjusted. He'll be back in, presumably, the next play from scrimmage. Andy Watts, top of your screen. Down at the bottom, number 18. That's Grayson Scott. In the backfield, to the left of Daniel Blaine is 21, Tristan Baker. Single tight end set. Blaine's going to throw. He gets that one tipped at the line of scrimmage. Carson Long gets his hand up there just enough to deflect that pass. Falls incomplete. Daniel Blaine, let's be honest, he started this season he was a little bit sluggish, to put it nicely. But I tell you what, over the past couple of weeks, he has absolutely turned it on, and I think he's essentially taken over that QB1 spot. Coming into the season, Connor Bohan and Daniel Blaine are kind of sharing that number 1 position. But right now, just as we see, Tristan Baker solidifies that RB1. Grant Jennings with the stop. We've got an injured Raider. I think that might be Garcia. Looks like he might be cramping up, kind of rolling around there. I think that's exactly what it is. Maybe a little stinger as well. It was 6:26 left here in the first quarter. Mill Valley 7-0 over Shawnee Mission South. We're going to step away for 15. We'll be right back. NathanVarsity.com.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. Just like we're always making sure produce meets our standards for feeding your family. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
And handoff. Goes to the right side. Picks up the first down and about 5 more yards.
Let's go to our statistics expert, David Trimble. I'm going to have to take off my shoes to figure out how many carries from scrimmage Tristan Baker has for the Jaguars.
I've got 13 for the team, and that's total.
That is total indeed. Blaine handing it out. He pulls it back. Wide open. It's Davion Harris. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Daniel Blaine to Davion Harris. All he does is catch touchdowns. Makes it a 13-0 game at 5:50 left in the first quarter. Oh, they made that one look pretty darn easy.
And that's what I like to see. That's only their second pass of the game. I'd really like to see you got Baker.
Well,
you know that your run game is solid. I'd like them to develop their QB and get a little bit more passing going.
Kick is up, splits him again. That's Kenton Loftman doing his thing. Makes it 14-0. 5:50 left in the first quarter. So far, it's been all Jaguars here on Junior Jag Night and Military Appreciation Night. Throughout the game, we'll try to get you some video shots of the young Junior Jag cheerleaders. They are absolutely precious down here on the track in between the stands and the sideline for Mill Valley. I don't know, what do we have? We got about 200?
I mean, they
200
go
little Junior
all the way
Jags
to the goal line. They go from the 50 all the way down to the goal line.
You know, we've been fortunate over the years to just simply proximity to where I live and, you know, be able to call a number of these games here at Mill Valley High School, and they always treat us extremely well. But something that, you know, when somebody knows that I call out of Mill Valley, they say, what is the recipe? Why are they always so good? Well, I'm going to tell you, look down at the sidelines and you see 200 young Junior Jag cheerleaders. At halftime, you're going to see at least that many more 200-plus Junior Jag football players taking the field. It's the way that they're able to develop the youth in this community and the way that the families and the community at large get behind this program. It's really remarkable. Had a conversation with a teacher from Olathe North before the game. She marveled at the community aspect here at Jaguar Stadium in Mill Valley High. There is Johnson. He twists around and he falls down. Gets it out to the 23. And for their second drive of the game, Raiders are going to take over. Trying to have some positive yards this time. David Trimble, you mentioned just a short while ago, if you were what you would like to see out of Mill Valley, tell us a couple of things you'd like to see out of this the Raider offense.
The Raiders have got a strong run game as well, and they're looking to develop their passing as well. They've not run the ball yet today. So I think they need to get the run going, and then that will lead them to the passing game.
3 up, 3 down, last series out. Let's see what they can do here. Empty backfield for Jennings. Looks to his left, a little short pass again. Might have been just a little bit behind Carter Cox, but he had the time. Of course, when you're taking in, it had to be 2.5, maybe 3 seconds from the time that ball was snapped until it hit the hands of Carter Cox. Yeah, that's a second drop. Gonna have to somebody order a can of Stickum. Not sure if that's still legal or not. I suspect it's probably not. Sort of like laughter at some politically incorrect jokes. You know, it's just not allowed anymore. But enough about that. Hands it off. That's Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson goes nowhere. Might have lost just a skosh. That was Seifert. Evan Seifert, the 205-pound senior. He's also got 20 tackles. In fact, he and Jaden Woods lead the team coming into this game with 20 tackles apiece. Seifert maybe has a little bit an edge in the stats column with an extra interception to his credit. 3rd down and 11 from their own 23-yard line. Going the wrong way are the Raiders. See if they can right the ship now. Under pressure from the backside and brought him down. That's number 52, Connor Clifton. Coming into this game, he was one of 5 Jaguars with a sack on the season. Guess what? Now he's got 2 to lead the team. Connor Clifton, 6'2", 212-pound senior. He backs up Sam Coletti, and that just goes to show the depth that this Jaguar program has. 4:34 left before the end of the first, 14-0. And punting away, it's going to be Jake Johnson. Johnson just gets that one away. High sky punt, and that was a dangerous play there by number 23, Clayton Sondera. That could have been a lot of trouble if that would have bounced the wrong way and kind of ricocheted off his shin. But if you're a Jaguar fan, you're glad that it bounced the right way. And the Jags, again, are going to have amazing field position to start their third drive of the game. Now, I don't know. I'm not a betting kind of guy, David Trimble. But if I were, I've got a hunch that if somebody said, hey, $100 for whoever touches the ball next or who's ever going to carry it or catch it, I'd say it's probably going to be number 21. Oh, and that's why I'm not betting.
Owe me $100.
And there it is.
I will
And
put my
that is
Venmo.
why. That is exactly why you're not going to see me at a casino or frequenting any of those gambling. Yes, those gambling.
Jimmy the Greek, you are not.
I am
sir.
not in a lot of ways. Yeah, that's a whole other discussion there.
But I like what they were doing. Trying to get that passing game going. Use the play action to develop that.
This defense for the Raiders, and it's kind of that unconventional 4-2-5, and right there, finding a little bit of a hole is Blaine. Dime, nickel, can't quite get money in the bank, but down to the 4-yard line, first and goal, Mill Valley.
And Mekhi Hill chased him down.
Boy.
And he just barely got to him before he got paid her.
One of the fastest Jaguars on the field, Daniel Blaine, and you're exactly right, David Trimble. Defender chased him down, saved a touchdown. Handing it off to touchdown maker. Is he going to get there? He dives for the corner. They're going to say that he was just a little bit short. They're going to mark him out of bounds around the 3/4 yard mark.
There's a hanky on the field.
A hanky. And it's
that
yellow.
one's coming back.
See what the call is. They're pointing to the hanky. They're pointing to the 5-yard line. They are talking about where they're going to go after this game. They are not. No, they are going to pick it up. Nope. They will pick it up, but they're going to follow it up with a call, and that's holding against Mill Valley. Going to push them back 10 yards. 3:50 left in the first. 14-0 Jaguars over the Raiders. Beautiful evening of about 58 degrees here in beautiful western Shawnee, Kansas. It's off Monticello Road at Mill Valley High School. Glad you're with us this evening on a10varsity.com. Tristan Baker tries to find the edge. He's got it and a little bit more. Cuts it back inside the 10, inside the 5. And another flag coming in, this time from the far side. Serrano again. It's about his 54th tackle in this game. CJ Serrano he's one of those players that, any defensive coach just absolutely loves because they have a knack for the ball. They know where the play is going to go, and they get there. And he's a fundamentally sound tackler. He tackles, he sees what he tackles. For all you kids out there that are learning to play the game, remember, keep your head up. See what you tackle. Never lower your head.
And that's a hold against Mill Valley again. Coach Appleby is not going to be happy about that one.
Yeah, they're going to sure look at that in depth at film study. Twin receivers to the bottom of your screen for Mill Valley. That's Schreiber, number 1, as well as Watts. And another flag, and that is 3 in a row. Of the games that I have done here at Jaguar Stadium, I don't know too many times that the Jaguars have been flagged 3 plays in a row. Oftentimes, you don't get 3 flags in an entire game.
That's putting them at first and goal from the 28-yard line.
First and forever. Well, with the way that their offense is hitting on all cylinders tonight, would not surprise if they drive right into the end zone. 6-5 on the play clock. Gonna have to hurry to get this one off. Blaine, and there's Coach Appleby running out, getting the timeout before a 4th penalty in a row. Little discombobulation. Things are a little bit cattywampus. Another very technical football term.
It is.
Cattywampus. But that gives us just a second or two to pay a couple of bills. We're going to be right back here on 810varsity.com. Jaguars 14, Raiders 0.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. Just like we're always making sure to keep our shelves stocked with the affordable, high-quality food your family loves. We're here to ensure the products you want are always right where you need them, when you need them. And with budget-friendly options on every shelf, you can be sure you're getting the very best for less. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
Mill Valley has a first and goal. Well, you're looking at the screen if you're just joining us. Yes, that is. First and goal from the 28 of the Raiders. That one ricocheted almost reached the waiting hands of Jamon Carpenter. He couldn't quite get there in time, but that's one of those plays that can certainly turn the momentum in a hurry to get a team like the Raiders right back into this one. But instead, it's going to be second and 28, or I should say second and goal from the 28 following three penalties, might as well have been a turnover, against the Jaguars. Single back set, Baker again. They look over to the sideline, waiting for a little instruction from the coaching staff. Got to hand it off to Baker, trying to get to the near side edge. He's got that a little bit more, pushed out of bounds inside the 20. Get about 8 of them. Another tackle by Carpenter. He is all over the place as well. This defense of Shawnee Mission South certainly has been impressive despite the score. They're where they need to be. They've got a lot of athleticism. They're a little bit young. They're a little bit green in certain areas. But they are playing with their hair on fire and certainly with a lot of guts and determination. Third and goal from the 20. Blaine has got plenty of time. He's going to wiggle out of there, and he has room. Down to the 10-5. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Touchdown, Daniel Blaine. From 20 yards out. What started out 2 plays prior at around 30 at the 30-yard line is about, first and goal from the 28. Mill Valley somehow, some way, able to convert that long first and goal situation. And now
he was looking to pass all the way. He had lots of time, didn't like what he saw developing downfield, and said, hey, you know what? I can do this.
And right now, Kent Loffman's going to say the same thing, partner. Good hold, kick is up, and it is right through. Money in the bank. 2:17 left in the first quarter. Jaguars 21, Raiders 0. We'll be right back.
Get a shake with your points and some fries on the side with your points. You get more with every order. Woo! Get a Whataburger or a patty melt or some breakfast with the points. You get more with every order. Get a biscuit or a brownie, but no matter what you pick, you get more. Like your favorite Whataburger or whatever, cause it all gives you more with Whataburger Rewards.
Jake Johnson back, standing at his own 1-yard line as he awaits Kenton Loffman's kick. Kenton Loffman, as mentioned earlier, one of the top kickers throughout the Midwest. Coming into this one, over 75% of his kickoffs have been touchbacks. He's a perfect 1-for-1 from field goal range this season so far. Makes good contact with that one. It's gonna, the cooler air, it's gonna, and there's a little bit of a melee going on here on the 35, and that's about, well, there are flags all over the place. There are so many hankies. I think that this was some sort of a thrift shop. Hankies everywhere.
I was going to go with a soap opera.
Soap opera, hanky.
You know, because
Not
soap
hanky
opera
panky.
is dramatic. People crying, needing the
exactly.
hankies.
Okay, fair enough. Why did I go to hanky panky? That was a
I think that shows
quite
us a
the
little
jump.
something about where your mind is.
well. Okay, let's see what we have here. Personal foul against the Raiders. Are we going to have? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I didn't see where they finally brought him down. Okay, I'd say that's about right. So from their own 27-yard line, Raiders are going to have their third drive from scrimmage. The first two didn't turn out very well if you're a Raider fan. Not for a lack of try. Grant Jennings. Single back set is Johnson. Jennings, quick throw to the near side and a completion made. That is Jake Johnson. Jake Johnson with his 18th reception of the year. He averages around 10 yards per reception. He's got a 40-yard touchdown reception earlier in the year. But throws like that, David Trimble, are exactly what this Raider team needs to get going to have a little success, build a little momentum.
Right, because he was throwing right away. He got that ball out fast. Just make the completion.
And there's another one crossing around midfield, down inside Mill Valley territory. 1st and 10 Raiders. And that was Carter Cox, the 6'2", 190-pound junior, with his first reception on the evening. Couldn't have come at a better time for the Raiders.
And that is exactly what happens when you get that first completion, kind of a mental block in there. You're like, okay, we got that one down. Now we can do this one.
1st and 10, that's kind of a rehuddle. He huddled and had a little rehuddle. Twin receiver. All right, beg your pardon. We have a bunch set at the top of your screen. Man in motion. That H-back roll. And under pressure, but a great little fake. That one ended up going. There was a lot to unpack on that one. First of all, and that was a great tackle by Clark. Good heads-up play, staying home, a good sound assignment defense. But Grant Jennings, I think he faked out everybody.
I was going to say,
including his own team.
I'm not going to lie, he definitely faked me out on that one.
And when you're wearing white jerseys, that's even more difficult to do. But Grant Jennings now with a second and call it around 6 yard. Yeah, about 6 to go from the 41-yard line. Looks to the sideline, Coach Foster and crew. Longtime coaching staff here at Mill Valley. Right up the middle to Johnson. Ben Johnson gets a first down. And the Raiders, they are marauding. Now, can you maraud if you're on offense, or is that more of a defense?
I think the Raiders can maraud whenever they want.
And that's exactly what they're doing. And they have got things clicking here. They have the Jaguar defense back on their heels. They're down by 21 with 27-26 left in the first quarter. But the Raiders have found their offensive groove. Single back set. Man in motion, number 13. That is Gabe Guajardo. Another fake. Is there a better, I tell you, he's like a magician out there. I mean, he's like, hey, I've got a pigeon in one pocket, and I've got, hankies in another, and it's just absolutely phenomenal how he's able to do that. Well, there's no magic in us telling you this score, and that is 21-0. The home team, the Jaguars of Mill Valley High, are having their way early on against the Raiders of Shawnee Mission South, and you were watching it live only on your high school sports, really your one and only high school sports authority throughout the entire region, and that is 810varsity.com. We'll be right back.
Biscuits and taquitos and breakfast on a bun. Those are just a few of the things you can make a part of your morning routine at Whataburger. Then again, with so many choices, you could make a routine of not having a routine. But would not having a routine still be a routine? Chew on that for a while. Whataburger breakfast, just like you like it.
And they are featuring those junior Jag cheerleaders down there on the sideline right now.
2nd and 3 from the Jaguar 25, the Raiders. There's Jennings rolling out to his right. And no flag. No flag on that. But that is Evan Seifert. Evan Seifert, the 6', 205-pound senior, wearing the double deuce. I think that was one of those played. You see the coaching staff on the far side. I think they expected to see more hanky. I like more cowbell, more hanky.
Got to have more cowbell. And that was pretty close to a horse collar tackle. I mean, they went over that at the Chiefs game, the hand position.
And under pressure, Jennings.
Nearly picked off.
And Jennings is down. There was a defensive missile that came right through the gut of that line to hit Jennings in the backfield. And there's an official time. Well, I think they were going to stop play. Of course, the incomplete pass stops the clock, but the staff over there on Shawnee Mission South sideline come out, and they wanted to have a talk with their signal caller because he took a shot. And I mean, that was a missile coming through there. Not one, but two Jaguar defenders.
And they got there in a hurry.
I think Abe Schaefer was part of that melee. I think Hayden Heller was as well. Schaefer with a couple of tackles for loss on the season. 11 tackles, a hurry, make it 2. Hayden Heller, he's got 4 tackles for loss. Heller's only a sophomore. Schaefer only a junior. That interior line on the defensive side for Mill Valley. Loaded for Bear. And Carter Cox throws a bomb down the sideline, cannot connect. But Carter Cox in for the apparently injured, or at least kind of shaken up, Grant Jennings. How did I get Jenkins?
I think maybe you were thinking that they were just going for it like Leroy Jenkins on that one.
That's exactly what I wasn't thinking, but yes. Thank you for the assist, my friend David Trimble.
And I think that was the case where the official called the timeout, so he had to be out for one play.
Right. Carter Cox is the backup quarterback, and that was the first pass that Cox has thrown the entire year. What a position for him to get thrown into. 4th and 11. But now the Raider defense has to come up big again. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of Mill Valley. Do the Jaguars have it? Tristan Baker, left side. Pushes the pile. Pushes the ball. And that's Notsky again on the tackle. Going to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Jags.
And that young man has got excellent field vision because he's seeing the play develop and he is closing in.
He is arguably the most complete back that I've seen all year long, and seen a number of backs. Aiden Ryan over there for Rockhurst, first game of the season. Certainly an impressive young man, but for my money, this young man, number 21 for Mill Valley, and a great fake. And in and out of the hands, the dropsies go from the far sideline to the near one. That was Scott. Couldn't quite hang on to that one. That might have been a case of Scott knowing that he was able to turn upfield if he brought that in, and potentially 6 points written all over it. But you got to catch it before you run with it.
I was going to say, I think it was a little bit opposite of he heard the footsteps. He saw the open field and got a little too excited.
Or he saw the flashing lights in his mind.
Yes.
Handoff again to Tristan Baker. Baker gets stood up. Great job by number 55. That was Luke Matsky. And what a beast he is. He's 5'8", 170 pounds, and he's kind of in that Mike linebacker role. But he got in there, and he wasn't given an inch to Tristan Baker.
His name's not Mike.
Luke Matsky. David Trimble. 9:56 left before halftime. 21-0 is your score. Mill Valley up big against the Raiders of Shawnee Mission South. We'll be right back.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. Just like we're always making sure to keep our shelves stocked with the affordable, high-quality food your family loves. We're here to ensure the products you want are always right where you need them, when you need them. And with budget-friendly options on every shelf, you can be sure you're getting the very best for less. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
And a little bit of an uncharacteristic second timeout called here with 9:56 to go. Quarter number 2, half number 1.
And up by 21 points. 21-0. Mill Valley over Shawnee Mission South. Behind the hot hand of number 21. The hot legs, the hot hands, I don't know what you could call it, but he has just been the workhorse. And I think the Raider defense kind of catching on to that too. They are going to load up the box as much as they can. And a timeout with the 4th and 1. They tried to get a hard count. Tried to get the Raiders to jump, but they were not having it. And now Mill Valley going to burn one of their remaining timeouts.
They have no more timeouts.
No more. They had 3. They've blown through all 3 of them. 9:56 left before halftime. Let's do a quick little recap. David Trimble. 3 scoring drives for Mill Valley. Or 3 drives, 3 scoring drives. This is the first time that they've been in a 4th down position. 4th and 1. Presumably they're going to go for it. When you got a line made up of Gus Hawkins and Eric Penner, Jack Fulcher, Sully Sunderman, and Mason Kemp and crew, you almost have to go for it.
And I'm not, oh, he drops back to punt now.
Wow. Little uncharacteristic. And we saw Jaden Woods on the offense on that last series. Might be setting up a potential razzle-dazzle type of play later in the game. He's kind of lined up in that H-back position. Have to keep an eye on number 5. But right now we can keep an eye on these Raiders. What they do on offense. Fantastic opportunity for Shawnee Mission South. Forcing a punt on a 4th and 1 situation. Interesting call. I think much to the displeasure of the Mill Valley fans here on the west side of Jaguar Stadium.
You know, and it's one of those things where I almost have to agree with them because you've got Tristan Baker. Just give him the ball and let him run for the 1 yard. I'm not sure why they were messing around with trying to draw him off sides and things like that.
A lot of time taken, a handoff to Johnson. Johnson goes nowhere. He is brought down. That was Walt Midget. Clayton Sonderoth. Songeroth. I'm going to get that right one of these times. Walt Midget, 5'9", 168-pound senior. Long line of Midget athletes come through Mill Valley over the years. 2nd and 10 from their own, around their own 17-yard line. Single back is Johnson. 3 receivers to the top. Johnson gets the carry. Of note, Grant Jennings not in on this series. No indication where he is. I don't see it. Maybe he's in the tent on the far side, but I do not see number 4. Well, that's why. Because he was trotting back onto the field.
Poof.
Just like
it's a
that.
Magic.
Wish I could do that with a lot of things. $20 bill.
Poof.
Doesn't work. 3rd and 7 from the 20. And Grant Jennings really had that offense clicking before he got speared down around the 30 of Mill Valley on that last drive. Let's see what he can come up with here on third down for the Raiders. Beautiful pitch and catch and a lot of green for the green. Down to the 30. He's got 20 to go. 10, and he is brought down from behind. That was Walt Midget. Walt Midget saves the touchdown, but a fantastic pitch and catch from Grant Jennings. As we see on the far side, we've got a couple of Raiders, and maybe that's kind of an equipment readjustment.
Yeah, it almost looked like he might have been stretching out a cramp or something. Noyce was on that catch, and he might have, when he was running that, he might have started cramping up a little bit towards the end, or I'm not sure. It looks like.
So that was Sawyer Noyce on the reception, David Trimble.
Sawyer Noyce on the catch. Caught it at about the 40, 45, and got all the way down. First and goal at the 8.
Sawyer Noyce, he's 6'2", 210 pounds. One of the fastest players on this team. I could not make out the number from high atop here, the beautiful press box in Mill Valley. Well, now they're going to bring things back a little bit. Let's see what this is. I beg your pardon, I have not seen. Now there it was. Kind of camouflage with those white jerseys, the white hat on the far side. If only they could wear shirts that were striped. I'm seeing. There we go. First and 10 for the Jaguar 47. There's Jennings being pressured, dumps that one off as the pressure gets into the backfield. Typically, those little dump-offs can be big trouble for the defense, but not for Abe Schaefer and company. Schaefer busts through the line once again, and he has spent more time in the backfield than he has in study hall this week. Abe Schaefer getting it done right in the heart of that line for Mill Valley.
And the Mill Valley defense did a great job of staying home on that one and preventing just that little dump off that can easily go for 15, 20 yards. Did we see what the penalty was? I mean, it must have been a hold maybe? I missed that.
I do believe it was a hold. Intentional grounding, I'm not sure. Nah, joke, of course. Timeout on the field. Play clock was down to 0. Coach Nick Foster, he's got one timeout left. 7:21 before halftime. 21-0, Mill Valley over Shawnee Mission South. You were watching it live on your home for high school sports throughout the entire Kansas City metro area and parts beyond. Down in Oklahoma this past week, over in far western Kansas, over on the Missouri side, where we'll bring you up to speed on a number of scores on the Kansas and Missouri side at halftime. Compliments of A10varsity.com. You're able to see those scores whenever you'd like online on your internet machine, however you get your internets at A10varsity.com. A couple of interesting games I can tell you real quick. Bishop Miege and St. Thomas Aquinas so far, and this was just before halftime. Bishop Miege 7, St. Thomas Aquinas 0. Aquinas losing a heartbreaker last week to Rockhurst. And Carter Cox finds himself in the backfield, and he is under a lot of pressure. And you feel sorry for him because he didn't know what to do. He got rid of it. He gets it out to Johnson, to Jake Johnson. And I'm not sure that Jake Johnson wanted to catch it after being blown up by the defender on the far side. I think that might have been Jackson Lawler for the Mill Valley defense to reach out and grab him and touch him and say hello.
Because he took a pretty good little hit on that one as well.
I think that was Lawler. 6:44 before halftime, 3rd and 10 from the 47 of the Jaguars. Got to assume that they're probably going to go for this. If they can't get it on this down, Jaden Woods in hot pursuit. Had a man open on the far side. Could not connect with him. That was Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was there, and now the punt team comes on. Ben Johnson with the reception, and here comes Jake Johnson in to launch another punt. He's had a couple of punts almost blocked, maybe even ricocheted a little bit by Jaguar paw. Sonogroff and Andy Watts, and another punt that just gets away. Able to get it, fielded it around the 17, 18-yard line, and that was a dangerous spot. He was covered up nicely, didn't get much of a return at all. 6:21 before halftime, 21-0. Jaguars over the Raiders. You're watching it live only at 810varsity.com. We'll be right back.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. Just like we're always making sure produce meets our standards for feeding your family. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
First and 10, Mill Valley from their own 20-yard line. Twin receivers to the near side. Hand off to Baker. Finds a hole, pushes forward to the 27. Tackle by number 55, Luke Notsky. And Tristan Baker. And if he could have got past that defensive back. And Mill Valley in a hurry up offense. There's Baker, patient runner that he is, cuts it back. Certainly, I don't want to. I'm going to make this comparison because the style of runner that he is and the vision that he has, and those feet are always moving. But, my team, the 49ers, have a running back named Christian McCaffrey. And you see some of those same instincts. Now, in no way am I saying that Tristan Baker's at the level of Christian McCaffrey, but you can see it. And I think those of you at home that can appreciate the good athleticism by number 21, who's got the ball again, enough for a first down. Inside the 40, 35, brought down around the 31-yard line, but we have a little bit of hankiness on the, not pankiness, but hankiness on the field. Looks like that one's going to come back. Jaguars kind of resolve that it will come back. That is pass interference on the Jaguars.
And that is their uncharacteristic fifth penalty.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Use a hand. That is, I saw the one hand come out. I thought it was offensive pass interference. Not so much. It's kind of an illegal hands call right there. Backs them up to their own 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Jaguars. Just over 5 to go before halftime. Blaine takes a snap. Gets it out to Baker. Baker cuts it back. Short gain. Gain of about 1. Bring up 3rd and about 7 for the Jaguars. Last time they were in this situation, the Raider defense held strong. Kind of bowing their necks. Kind of tightening things up. They're really doing a good job of stacking the box and pretty much saying, hey, if you're going to run, you're going to run into a lot more of us. Almost kind of daring Daniel Blaine to throw, and that's exactly what he's going to do right on cue. And the dropsies. David Harris can't quite bring that one in. Going to bring up a 4th down punting situation for Mill Valley for the 2nd time today and subsequent drives. Or, well, back-to-back drives. Subsequent to the last one. How's that?
Now, this is a case where I would, try and draw them off sides.
Right. Pretty sure everybody in the stadium understands that they're going to
But when you had a 4th and 1, I would have just gone for it
That is Adam Olson.
with all of my coaching experience.
I was just going to say,
That's
why we're up here, partner.
That's what I would have done.
Fair catch being called right around the 24-yard line. 4:13 before halftime, 21-0. Mill Valley over Shawnee Mission South. As a reminder, halftime, David Trimble is going to bring you up to speed on a lot of the area scores, both on the Kansas and Missouri side, and also some stats from the first half that you're going to find very interesting. David Trimble has some of those stats, kind of like, well, on 3rd down on the far hash mark, when they're in a 3-man or a 12 personnel formation, Mill Valley has scored 94% of the time.
I like to call those hockey stats.
Hockey.
Some of the stats that they come up with in hockey.
They are make-believe, just like hockey. 1st and 10 from their own 24. Cox into the game. Boy, he had that throw really had 2 receivers.
And I think there might have been a little miscommunication because I think they both stopped.
They did. And, just little miscommunication, little confusion on the routes. Second and 10 from their own 24. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Single back is Johnson. Johnson's going to get the handoff, and he's going to get swallowed up by those Jags. Jaden Woods. You see him in his, look how long his arms are. The arms go, like Alden Smith was one of those, of course, played for the Niners, a great Missouri player. Ran into some legal trouble later in his career, but
who doesn't?
We'll talk about that. Yeah, exactly. Yours truly. I mean, come on. But Jaden Woods, you see him in his, just look at him. Seriously, his arms are so long.
It looks like he's got as big of a wingspan as Michael Jordan.
Indeed. That's one of the reasons why he's one of the top recruits in the country in his class, is in like top 50 recruits. And a great job, and as I said earlier, kind of one of those plays that can end up in a troublesome situation for the defense is when they draw all that pressure in, kind of dump it over on top. And when you got a line of blockers out there to bulldoze the defenders that are left, put all that together and you come up with a first down for the Raiders.
And Seifert was at a full-on sprint trying to get to him.
3:05, 3:04. 1 timeout left for the Raiders. Cox in for the injured Jennings. He lets this one go, kind of flutters. That's a little bit of trouble. And, boy, that was
I'm a little surprised I didn't see some laundry on the field on that one. He was trying to jump, and
I think he was maybe trying to give him a high five.
A low five because
he kind of pulled that arm a little bit.
He was trying to jump, and for some reason, it was like he had an anchor holding him down.
Indeed, he did. I think that was kind of one of those position calls where you are in relation to the official. I think that kind of served the defender well. 2nd and 10 from their own 49. C.J. Serrano back on offense. So many of these players playing both ways for the Raiders. There's Cox going to keep it himself for the first time. He's brought down from behind. Flags on the play. He was able to get it all the way to the 45 of the Jaguars. Hayden Heller comes up with the tackle, and I think that's going to be a holding call. Early indication, they're walking this one back. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10.
Very good.
I was just going to say.
That was very good. You've been working.
Coming back after halftime, I'm going to try to get through the entire alphabet. 2:40, 2:39, clocks are running. And right now, the Raiders are running the wrong way. 2nd and 20 from their own 39. They just had it in Mill Valley territory. Penalties, bring them back. Single back set is Johnson. Cox waits for the snap. Gets it to Johnson, and there's nothing there. I'll ask David Trimble, our stats expert, how many yards from scrimmage, and Coletti on a nice stop for the Jags, but how many yards from scrimmage do the Raiders have between the tackles? I'm thinking it's fewer than I have fingers on my right hand.
Well, you are a little strange and have 6 fingers on your right hand, so that was almost a trick question, but I believe it is only 4 yards. And he jumps off encroachment, there.
Well, that's going to give 5 yards back to the Raiders that they lost earlier on that 10-yard holding penalty. That's nice of the Jaguars.
Little
the
give,
spirit
little
of giving.
take.
Exactly right. How many shopping days until Christmas?
And
Not
can
many.
we give a shout out to
Santa?
Halloween?
Halloween. What?
Can we give a shout out to Halloween?
Halloween?
Because it's the only thing keeping Christmas decorations and music from being played right now.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you, Halloween. 3rd and 15, ball on the 43. And here come the spooky defenders from the Jaguars, and that one, I tell you, that's, and Cox is down. You know, we've got a depth chart from Coach Foster that he supplied us earlier this week. I've only got two quarterbacks listed, but Cox is down. And that was one of those, after he let it go, there was a little extracurricular on the, I'm sure if you're a Raider fan, you're looking at that and you are screaming right now as you watch your internet machine and you're looking for a personal foul call. Can certainly see why you would be frustrated. But right now on the far sideline, the Raiders are going to have to marshal their resources to find a signal caller. Grant Jennings, the 6-foot, 185-pound senior, went down off a direct hit from a cruise missile that wore the number 58, Abe Schaefer. And good to see Cox moving around.
And I believe in my research that Ben Johnson, brother but not related to Jake Johnson, he has taken one snap and completed one pass this season. So
on a little trickery play, indeed.
So it's entirely possible he might get the nod in there.
He is walking off under his own power. With 1:25 left in a 4th and 15 situation, odds are we're not going to see, and really the Raiders won't have to make a decision until after halftime, presumably, on who they're going to send out there to take snaps. But Jake Johnson, he's a punter. He's caught some passes. He's run the ball. Maybe he's a candidate out of the Wildcat. 5'10", 145-pound senior. Takes it and somehow gets it away, and he launches a nice punt back to the 25. I'm not sure. I think that was Sondergroth on the far side. There he is. Brings it out to the 32. 1 minute, 3 seconds until halftime. Mill Valley out of timeouts. Burned all 3 of them earlier on. I'm sure they wish they had 1 or 2 of those back right now. The way that this Jaguar offense can put up points and yards in a hurry, that may be irrelevant.
And credit to the special teams of Shawnee Mission South. They were down there and they had excellent coverage on that.
1st and 10 Jags from their own 25. Blaine under pressure. He cuts it back, turns the other way. He's got some room. Out to midfield to the 40. He's pushed out of bounds at the 30. Pushed out of bounds, no flag. Carpenter tracks him down, pushes him out of bounds. And just like we said moments ago, this offense has the capability to put up yards in a hurry. And they did just that, right on cue. See the back judge. No, okay, he's kind of resetting. Like he may have had a little equipment issue. Lane waits for the snap. Man in motion. And there's a little dump right over there, and it tried to get it to Baker, and that was one of those passes that if he could have made that pass, it would have been a terrific catch, that made that catch. But it was a little bit behind him. He had to kind of act like a contortionist to come back and even have a chance for that.
And I think, honestly, they're better off that he didn't because I'm pretty sure that he was maybe a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
47 seconds until halftime, 21-0. Mill Valley looking to extend their lead before heading into the locker room here at Jaguar Stadium. He's going to keep it himself as Blaine. He's got a first down, and he's inside the 25, down to the 21-yard line. Clock stops. Carpenter comes back in, but now we've got another Raider on the turf, and that is Notsky. One of the top defenders for the Raiders tonight. He is down, but he is getting up, walking to the sideline, and there have been some hits put on by both of these defenses. Looks like kind of favoring his shoulder. Hope he's all right. He'll get some treatment at halftime. And so will we. We'll be treated to the melodic sounds of David Trimble giving us some scores. Compliments of A10varsity.com. Blaine this time gets it out to Baker. Baker's got some room. Lowers the shoulder. Drags the defenders in. And they're going to say no indication. Now the Raiders think that Baker fumbled before he crossed the goal line. Officials are down there trying to sort things out.
A Raider currently is holding the ball up in the air.
And they say that, and there it is, they are waving touchback. They are saying that Tristan Baker lost the handle on the football before he broke the plane. Let's go back to Dean Blandino. We'll bring you in. Dean, did you have a look at that one on replay?
Well, I think it looks like he
Why do
might
you
have
sound like
dropped the
Adam Sandler? That is not Dean Blandino. Apologies to Dean Blandino, but hard to see it. We'll have to go back and look at the replay on A10varsity.com. But Tristan Baker, he lowered his shoulder, and seriously, there were Raiders coming out from the sideline trying to help their teammates stop Tristan Baker.
looking to plunder.
Okay. Plunder. Pillage and plunder. I don't know.
I think that's what Raiders do.
Indeed. Shout out to Chad. So, with 18 seconds left before halftime, I think I was number 15 in there taking the snap. Trying to see who that is. Number 15. That was Jacob Powell, the reserve quarterback for the Raiders. 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. Presumably he's going to be in the mix for receiving the snaps from center as we come back after our break. But going into halftime, the Jaguars of Mill Valley 21. The Raiders of Shawnee Mission South 0. We're going to take a quick break, wet our proverbial whistles, and figuratively too, and come back. And I'd say about 5 minutes, and David Trimble is going to bring you some scoring updates from around the area. But you were watching live another episode of Friday Night Football, live on your home for high school sports. That's A10varsity.com. We'll be right back.
Get a shake with your points and some fries on the side with your points. You get more with every order. Get a Whataburger or a patty melt or some breakfast with the point. You get more with every order. Get a biscuit or a brownie, but no matter what you pick, you get more. Like your favorite Whataburger or whatever, 'cause it all gives you more with Whataburger Rewards.
carryout comes in clutch.
welcome back to Jaguar Stadium at Mill Valley High School. 21-0 is your score at halftime. Have about 6 or 7 minutes left until we get things started in the third quarter. Gives us time to check in on some scores from around the area and some halftime stats, compliments of David Trimble. But he seems to be gone, so you're stuck with me. How about we just get right into it? I can tell you that Sumner Academy and Northeast over in KC Mo, that was a pretty tight one earlier, but Sumner Academy now leads 34-14. Bishop Miege up by 10 at halftime over St. Thomas Aquinas 10-0. Blue Valley 15, Blue Valley North 0. How about those Timberwolves of Blue Valley Southwest behind Dylan Dunn 41-28 over Blue Valley Northwest. 41-28, that is a third quarter score. Gardner Edgerton up by 21 over the Lions of Lawrence. 21-0, that is early in the third. Free State 28, Shawnee Mission North 6, halftime score. Olathe East 28, the Owls of Olathe West 0. Of course, again here at Jaguar Stadium, 21-0 is your score. Shawnee Mission East 9, Ravens of Olathe Northwest 0. Olathe South 32, Shawnee Mission Northwest 0. A little bit of a surprise score there. Olathe South certainly figuring some things out on defense. Up big, and that is in the third quarter over Shawnee Mission Northwest. Baser, Linwood, and Lansing all tied up at 13. Piper and DeSoto, that was tight in the first quarter, but since then, DeSoto has started to pull away. They hold on to a 27-13 advantage. Topeka Seaman 28, Leavenworth 0. Shawnee Heights down by 1 to the Red Raiders of Wamego 7-6. Turner and Topeka West all knotted up at zeros, and that is in the third quarter. Baldwin 42, Osawatomie 0. Ottawa 37, Bonner Springs 0. Eudora 60, Schlegel 0. Wildcats of Lewisburg 22, Tonganoxie 15, and Spring Hill 35, Paola 21. Couple of scores a little bit further to the west. The Salt Hawks of Hutch 35, Hayesville Campus 7. May South 28, Goddard 8, Newton 27, Salinas South 0. Our Kansas City Bulldogs down to Goddard Eisenhower 24-7. Salinas Central 6, Andover Central 17. Wellington 17, the Bullpups of McPherson 14. Interesting score. Clearwater 10, Heston 0. And Emporia and Wichita East all knotted up at zeros. One of the games of interest down in the Wichita area, Cape and Mount Carmel 21, Bishop Carroll. Eagles out of Bishop Carroll 14. Shout out to my old partner, Chance Lebo, who's down there for ESPN out of Wichita, covering that game and doing a great job in that market. Hopefully get back with him at some point when the playoffs roll around. And I was getting ready to turn it over to David Trimble for some halftime stats, but I think he's left again. No, he's coming back into the booth. So David Trimble, welcome back, my friend.
I saw that Kona Ice truck down there, and I just had to get down there and get me a little bit of Kona Ice on this chili.
Well, yes, but that Kona Ice, I think that was a van that some kids had just painted Kona Ice on the side. It said free puppies as well. Now, was that your van?
I can neither confirm nor deny that is my van,
right.
But there are, in fact, free puppies in there.
And Wi-Fi and candy.
Yes.
Okay, we are off the rails once again, right on schedule. About 3 minutes before we get things started here in the third quarter, David Trimble, break down the first half stats. How did the Jaguars come up with 21, and how are the Raiders stuck at 0?
Well, for the Jags, they've got 3 touchdowns, 2 of them a run, 1 of them a pass. They've been fairly run heavy. 18 runs against 4 passes in the first quarter, 8 runs, 5 passes in the second, 8 first downs. in the first quarter, 6 in the second. The really surprising thing on them is 6 penalties have gone against the Jags, and that is very uncharacteristic, and I think Appleby is probably going to have quite a bit to say about that one. Over on the Shawnee Mission South Raiders side, they are a little bit more consistent in their play calling and spreading it out. 4 runs against 6 passes in the first quarter, 6 runs and 9 passes in the second. 5 first downs in the first, 5 first downs in the second. 4 penalties on them in the first half. And Shawnee Mission South did defer after winning the coin toss, so they will get the ball back to start the second half. And we are about 3 minutes away from the start of that second half. And we are going to step away just for one more moment. And then we will be right back with you for second half action on A10varsity.com.
Shake with your points and some fries on the side with your points. You get more with every order. Get a Whataburger or a patty melt or some breakfast with the point. You get more with every order. Get a biscuit or a brownie, but no matter what you pick, you get more. Like your favorite Whataburger or whatever, 'cause it all gives you more with Whataburger Rewards.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. Just like we're always making sure you get the best cut every time. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
And welcome back to Mill Valley High School. Jaguar Stadium went into the halftime break with the Jaguars leading 21-0. And David Trimble, what's the score now?
It is 0-21.
Okay. No points were scored at halftime. As the Raiders deferred, or they won the toss and deferred to the second half, so they will be receiving the opening kick to this third quarter. Quick little scoring update for those of you fellow Cornhusker fans. Cornhuskers up over Illinois 17-0. Heinrich Harburg with a couple of touchdown runs. But back to the action here between the Jaguars and the Raiders. Kent Loftman kicks that one off. It's going to be taken right at the 1 yard line by Johnson. Cuts it back, zigs and he zags. He's up to the 22 yard line, and that's where the Raiders are going to have it 1st and 10. Hayden Appleby on the stop. Now we'll see. We'll see who that Coach Foster and crew are going to send out in the quarterback position. Let's see what my eyes say. Is that number 4? How about that? Grant Jennings back into the game. Grant Jennings wasting no time. Quick pass to the far side after the 32. Just about enough for a first down. Gregory Pearl with his first reception, I believe, of the year for the 6'3", 180. He's a big boy, 180-pound junior. Single back set is Johnson. Trips to the near side, single to the top. Jennings waits for the snap, looks to the sideline for the play call. Just underway in the third quarter. Jennings to hand off, back to Johnson, nothing doing. Same song, different verse. Very short gain, going to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Raiders. Hayden Heller, the sophomore, in for the injured Truman Griffin, just doing a fantastic job. The rich get richer. Hayden Heller, 6 foot, 241 pounds. The young man's 241 pounds and he moves like that. That's just ridiculous. Redonkulous. Trips to the near side. Well, we have an official timeout. I think there may be, an equipment issue? No, looks like we have a hobbled Raider. He's going to find his way to the sideline, get a little treatment. That's big ol' Andre Spann, 6'2", 240-pound sophomore. Charlie Ginn, the 6'5", 255-pound junior, listed 2nd on the depth chart. Handoff, I beg your pardon, he brings it back in again. Houdini in the backfield. How does he hide that ball so well?
I mean, he has got a
Just
fantastic
ridiculous.
play action.
I don't know what it is, that sleight of hand. And he pulls it back. The reception made for another Raider first down. This Raider team, averaging over 25 points a game this season, is now showing signs of getting this offense to start clicking.
And they're coming out strong this second half.
Empty backfield, 5 receivers set. A little bit of movement on the line. And that can certainly be a momentum killer.
And they did pretty well first half. They just had the 4 penalties. 1 or 2 of them were a little costly. And yeah, just like you said, this one hopefully is not a momentum killer because they were rolling pretty good there.
Hopefully, if you're a Raider fan. Let me ask you this, David Trimble. Where did you graduate?
I think it was Shawnee Mission South.
Okay, there we have it. We have confirmation. Homer with the headset. 9:50, 9:49. Now you kind of flick the wrist. Had to get rid of that one in a hurry. Tried to get it over to C.J. Serrano. A little bit off the mark, but if Serrano could have brought that one in, not sure that anyone was going to catch him before he found the end zone. 2nd and 15 from their own 42. Thought they were going to send him off, but no, there's going to stay in as Grant Jennings. Grant Jennings, he averages about 121 yards a game through the air, but also 60 on the ground. We haven't seen him take off much. Probably won't with this rush. There's a good quick out. Ben Johnson on the reception, gain of about 6 to 7. Still a long way to go for a first down. Got to bring up 3rd and long. 3rd and about 9 to try to keep this drive going. Got to think again if they could get the majority of what they need here. If they're a little bit short on 4th down, presumably they're going to go for it. And why wouldn't you? You're on the road. You got 1 win against the 4-time defending state champs. Got to roll the dice at some point. Let's see what Grant Jennings and crew decide to come up with. Twin receivers to the top. Man in motion, and I think Coach Foster saw something he didn't like, a little miscommunication. He's motioning to Grant Jennings. Teachable moment for sure. 9:42 left in the third. Let's keep it right here, David Trimble, and we'll talk about some scores from around the area. But first, tell us a little about Tristan Baker for the Jaguars in the first half.
Well, I mean, it was pretty much the Tristan Baker show. He was the workhorse, if you will, getting 20. Oh, I need to take my shoes off real quick. 24 of the 28 runs for Mill Valley were done by Tristan Baker.
Tristan Baker.
Couple QB keepers in there, but he definitely was the workhorse. Over 152 yards unofficially.
Unofficially. Well, we can tell you that officially, a couple of scoring updates. Blue Valley West 26, St. James 28 now. St. James reclaimed the lead, and Bishop Miege still up by 10 over St. Thomas Aquinas. 3rd and 9 from their own 48. Raiders man in motion, one man in the backfield. That's Johnson. Little pressure coming in. And Seifert again, he was right there. Tried to get his second INT on the season. Couldn't come up with it, but they did come up with a big third down stop, did the Jaguars. Going to force the Raiders into a punting situation. 9:38 left in the third quarter.
And Seifert wanted that so bad. He had nothing but green pastures in front of him.
That's one of those, he's going to lay in bed tonight, and he's going to see that ball, and he's going to see it hit his hands.
It was right there.
It was
right. Why didn't you get that?
Johnson gets this one off, a little better protection, and Sonderoth, and that takes a great Raider bounce and a roll inside the 10. Gonna pin the Jaguars back deep, their own 7-yard line to start their second drive their first drive of the second half. Well, they will take it over. I think they're gonna mark it right at the 8-yard line. 7-8. Scoring update, Blue Valley Southwest 48, Blue Valley Northwest 35. Scoring explosion out in Southwest Overland Park. We haven't had the scoring explosion that we thought we would have here so far this evening. Credit to both of these defenses. And there's Tristan Baker. He gets tied up in the backfield, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Might have stretched for a gain of a couple of yards before Adam Olson came in and brought him down from the backside.
And these Raiders, their defense, obviously has not given up, and they are in there causing a little bit of ruckus, if you will.
Oh, ruckus. Shout out, was that Mike Fannin? Is that who it was? Mike someone on the PBS station. Baker with a 5-yard gain. Ezekiel Garcia on the stop. He's been right there on a number of stops. First time he gets full credit. Mill Valley wasting no time, trying to catch the Raider defense off guard. Hands it off to Baker, coming this way, the near side, cuts it back. Beyond the 20, he's got the first down and a little bit more. And there's Ezekiel again, but not before Tristan Baker gets the first down for Mill Valley. 1st and 10 from their own 24. Baker again to the near side, lowers his shoulder. Now we had an opportunity to replay that apparent fumble at the goal line by Baker towards the end of the first half, preventing Mill Valley from scoring right before halftime. Of course, from our angle right here, it's a little bit inconclusive, but that was one of those calls, at least from here. Certainly kind of gone one of two ways.
One of two ways.
How about that, Captain Obvious? Notsky with the stop. 1st and 10, Mill Valley. 7:44, 7:43 left in the third. Daniel Blaine, single back to his left is Baker. Baker gets the call, bringing it this way. Raiders say not so fast, number 21. Maybe a yard gain, brings up 2nd and 9. These two coaching staffs on opposite sidelines, certainly familiar with each other. In fact, a good chunk of the staff from Shawnee Mission South came from the Appleby coaching tree. The roots of Coach Joel Appleby reach far and wide. Head coach Nick Foster. More on him in a second as we see Blaine lower his shoulder. How about that run? That's a highlight reel run if I ever saw one. But Blaine, he came in, he lowered that shoulder, and he landed it right in the midsection of that defender. I'm not sure who that was. I think that was Carpenter. The Carpenter's going to feel that right in the midsection. My,
and the yards after contact on that one, he was a good 5 yards short of the first down when he first made contact.
Speaking of short, Daniel Blaine's all of about 5'10", but he played like he's about 6'7". And there's Baker, almost breaks that one loose. If not for Jennings tripping him up. That was Grant Jennings, the same one. And we've been telling you all about from the quarterback position, also in there from the kind of that strong safety position for the Raiders. Another first down for the Jaguars. 6:20, 6:19 here in the third quarter. Man in motion is Watts. Watts gets the handoff, tries to turn the corner and do his best Tristan Baker impression. He can't get it done. He is stood up by, guess who? Jennings on the far side. Grant Jennings. He is just making plays. You know, that's what they say. The good players somehow find a way to just keep making plays. But on both sides of the ball, that's kind of ridiculous. Share the athletic talent, my friend.
Right. I was going to say, I think some of it is just talent that's just there, and then some of it is coaching and teaching them to watch the entire field and watch the play develop.
And there's a player that can watch the entire play, the entire field in front of him, the vision that he has, and that's Tristan Baker. And again, Carpenter's the one that pushes him out. I believe that is the 12th first down that Tristan Baker's run for on behalf of the Jaguars tonight. And the defense of the Raiders, yes, they've given up a couple of big plays, but really, you know, they're just giving up those 4- and 5-yard runs. There's another one right there, maybe about 6 on that one. They're kind of a bend, don't break, try to contain him. You say C.J. Serrano coming in to finish that up.
And, I mean, they've had the pressures there, and they've been able to stop the run. They just need to get a little bit more consistency and a little bit more penetration into the backfield and try and force them to throw, because as of right now, the running game's working. Why would you?
2nd and 3 from inside the 20. A little, how about that? Daniel Blaine. A little stutter step. He does a great job of faking out everybody, including yours truly. Keeps it himself, goes to the right side, and into the end zone for another 6 for Mill Valley. Well, not so fast. I think Coach Appleby's down there voicing his displeasure. It's so hard.
I mean,
so many fans.
Yeah, I mean, and he's got a perfect seat to make that call right here down below us at the 43-yard line.
High atop press box here at Jaguar Stadium. I mentioned in the first half, but they always treat us so well up here. You got a little space heater, got some snacks. Let's see if I can just kind of bring a sleeping bag and stay here for the weekend. We have plenty of internet. Watch some of the games tomorrow as we watch Tristan Baker, the far side. Great tackle. And again, that was Olsen with a fundamental tackle. I just love to see that when the guys, they tackle the right way. They do not lower their head, put their neck, at risk of injury, but they tackle what they see. Well done, young man. And there's Tristan Baker. He's got enough for a first down. And you see Gus Hawkins. Now we don't, Gus Hawkins going to be taking his talents down I-70 for Coach Kleiman at K-State next year on a football scholarship. He's one of those workers. He's a hard worker. He just does what he needs to do. But sometimes he kind of gets out there on the edge, and he is But he's sort of like the Sertoma. What if you're part of the Sertoma? What is that called? The Sertoma, because they're the ones that have the pancake feeds, right? The Sertoma or the Lions Club.
I'm
all right.
pretty sure that you're
church
making
ladies.
this up
I
right
am
now.
not making it up. The Sertoma pancake feed.
I mean, I've got Chris Cakes.
Okay.
Chris Cakes
more
doing the
pancakes
pancake
than
feed.
Chris. More cakes than Chris. Is that fair?
Yes.
And here, Coach
Appleby is out there
he is
giving them
instruction.
Yeah, giving them his opinion.
This is one of those that I wish we could do kind of like that lip reading, because they're both animated. Coach Appleby is out there as animated as I've ever seen him, but so are the officials.
I was going to say the officials giving it right back to him.
100%. Well, they're giving us quite a treat there. We'll give you some scoring updates here momentarily. I'll tell you the Blue Valley is now up over Blue Valley North 22-0. That is a fourth quarter score. As the Jaguars break the huddle, we've got 1st and 10 just outside of the 10-yard line, so potentially, should they need it, they can claim another first down. But at the rate things are going here on this drive, odds are they will not need it. Tristan Baker cuts it back down to the 7. He just pops right back up.
And that was the second timeout already called by Shawnee Mission South. See how that works out for them later on.
Well, you can't take them with you, they say. Not sure who says that, but it's sort of true.
They do say that.
It's like Stella. Who is this Stella? Well, what we can't say right now is that is Daniel Blaine. Daniel Blaine gets into the end zone for Mill Valley. Touchdown, Jaguars.
Sean, would you believe me if I told you that that was their first score since the first quarter?
I think I would believe you, because as I look at your great stats, that tracks. I think you're exactly right. A scoreless second quarter. Credit to the Raider defense.
Yeah, not
Kick
many
is
teams,
up and it's good.
Not many teams can say that they held them scoreless for the quarter.
Loffman a perfect 4 for 4 on extra points. And his kick makes it 28-0. 3:34 left in the third quarter. And we are live on 810 Varsity. We'll be right back after this.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. Just like we're always making sure produce meets our standards for feeding your family. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
And that scoring drive was their least favorable starting. They started back at their own 7. Officially it was on their own 8-yard line. And it did not matter. They went 92 yards for
a touchdown. Scoring update, Nebraska 17, Illinois 7. That is just before halftime in Champaign.
Is there some sort of special event going on that they're playing on a Friday night, or?
I think they're just trying to mix it up a little bit. As a Husker fan, there haven't been too many bright spots for us here in the recent, 20 years.
Caught me off guard a little bit with the 20 years on that one.
It hurts, I'm telling you.
Kind of like being a Cowboys fan.
Well said. Big game Sunday night, Cowboys-Niners. Be able to watch that right on NBC. Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico. And we will not be there.
Waiting on that call, though.
Waiting on the call. Tomorrow we will be out at St. Thomas Aquinas for the 810 Soccer Showcase. If you have some time, want to see some great boys soccer, try to make your way out there. And that is a there's a fan down in front of us that wanted to I'm not exactly sure what was said, but I'm sure you can play back on Replay NA Varsity should you want to hear that. But he was not happy. Sometimes we all need a little bit of hug. Is that why you've been standing so close to me here today, David Trimble?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just waiting for you to pick up on the hint.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, 1st and 10 from their own 25. Raiders would love to pick up a couple of first downs and get a little more of that momentum going that they kind of found despite no points on the board. They have had a couple of very nice series on offense.
And if they could just keep them going, it seems like they get a good.
There's Jennings with a rocket.
Nice pass and catch.
They're going to say that he caught it. Yeah, they did. C.J. Serrano brings that one in. Oh, now they're going to say that he got a little bit of help from the turf on that. Couldn't really see it from.
Looked clean from up here, Sean.
I think it might have bounced. Looking at it on replay, we got a little delay.
You can't.
About a 20-second delay. What's that?
You can't do that?
Well, we can. We absolutely can. We need about 2 more people to do this replay. And you know what? We might wheel that out.
You can't get it on the one hop.
You cannot get it on the one hop.
You can't get it on the one hop?
Exactly right. Although during the playoffs, I think we're going to bust out a little instant replay.
I've been playing this.
Oh, and that was rejected. That was a forward pass, of course. But
forward pass that went backwards 25 yards.
Indeed it did. It went backwards more than it did forwards. Grant Jennings, he's a big fella. All is 6 foot tall, 185 pounds, runs like the wind. He's got a rocket for an arm. One of the top signal callers in the Sunflower League. 3:17 left in the third quarter. Trimble, this third quarter is moving right along. Just like the Raiders wish that their offense was. 5 receivers, empty backfield. Jennings trying to pick up the 3rd and 10. He lets it go. He's got a receiver at the 45 and down around the 50. I think as number 1, that is Jake Johnson. That is his 19th reception on the year. All he does is catch 9 to 10 yard receptions all year long, and no bigger one than that one.
And he was almost down when he was able to just barely get that away, find the open man, pick up the big yardage.
Gritty play by number 4. Hands it off to Johnson for the first time today. I believe, if I'm looking at your stats right, David Trimble, that is the longest run from scrimmage for Mr. Johnson, Mr. Ben Johnson.
I think you might be right. I think his previous was about 4 or 5.
That one goes for 8. Kind of pinning the Jaguar defense back just a little bit. Kind of got him off balance. 2nd and 2, 2:16, 2:15 left in the third. Jennings waits for the snaps. He's going to throw. He's got a little time. Got to get rid of it. And again, in and out of the hands. Serrano, he's going to remember that one on the ride home tonight.
That pass was a little too spicy for him.
A little too spicy, a little too. Oh, my. Okay. Be here all night. Try the veal. Tip your waitress. 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2. And I got to think, I've said, I don't know how many times I've said it tonight. It's got to be 4-down territory, does it not? Even if they don't get it here. Ball's at the 42-yard line of Mill Valley. Jennings has a receiver. This time able to bring it in. Jake Johnson, the sure-handed Jake Johnson. Pulls that in for a first down. Stopped by Cronin for the Jaguars. 28-point spread between the Jaguars and the Raiders. 1:55 left in the third quarter. The Raiders can get just a little something here. Get some sort of points. A little bit of fuel in the tank. That one come back the other way. There's a little razzle-dazzle. Johnson to Johnson. Some brotherly love on the far side. David Trimble, you said earlier that Ben Johnson had one pass on the year, and I said that was as a result of a little razzle-dazzle. All right, there's two. More razzle and a lot more dazzle for the Johnson brothers.
First verse, same as the first. A little bit of razzle-dazzle. And they are knocking
cooking
at the doorstep.
Cooking with gas, 1st and 10 at the Mill Valley 13. Final minute and 20 seconds. Jaden Woods using those long arms we talked about before. He just has to, he's sort of like, those big, what are those called? Those, not windmills, but the wind generator, power generators. Are they windmills?
They are windmills.
Okay, all right. He's sort of like a windmill.
Your description, your physical description of when
Thanks.
you were doing that.
Theater of the mind.
It was like
a scarecrow that was
used car air floaty guy.
Right. Yeah, that's what was going on up here. Good thing we don't have a live camera, although we've been asked to put one up here. Folks, you don't want to see that. But we do want to see this play as we see Johnson. Now that is close. Wow, I'd like to see that one on replay. That was awful close to being a lateral. I'll have to watch that on the A10varsity.com replay, as I'm about to do, buying a little bit of time. He sets up. That was awful close. Probably I'd say about a foot away from being a lateral. But again, we're way up here. We don't have the best angle. But the official right there.
Coach.
6 seconds, 5 on the play clock. 3rd and 10, 2 seconds, 1 second, and Coach Foster runs down the sideline trying to get a timeout before the hanky hit the turf, and he does. And that is the last timeout that Shawnee Mission South has in this second half. But they are threatening to score. They've got a 3rd and 10 from the 13-yard line of Mill Valley, trying to get their first points of the game. And we're going to find out if they can do it when we come back right here on A10varsity.com.
At Price Chopper, we're always chopping prices. We're here before the sun comes up until long after it goes down, working hard to keep prices low for your family. From the cashiers at the front of the store to our teammates in the back. Throughout every department, we're all dedicated to bringing you your favorite food at prices you love. For freshness, selection, and low prices, Kansas City knows. Price Chopper.
.114 left in the third quarter. The Raiders have a 3rd and 10 from the 13-yard line of Mill Valley. The hobbled Grant Jennings and Ben Johnson in the backfield. Twin receivers to the near, one to the far. Jennings gets the snap, rolls to his right. Plenty of time. He's walking it back. He's running to his left. He's got a receiver and could not connect. Tried to get that one to Serrano. Tries to get it to Serrano as we try to close the door behind us.
And he had all kinds of time. Credit to the O-line, giving him the protection. Just a little bit better of defense downfield by Mill Valley. Couldn't find anybody open.
And they are going to go for it. At least they're showing that they're going to go for it. 12 on the play clock, 10-9. Going to have to hurry to get this one off. 4th and 10 from the 13. They've got to get it down to around the 2.5-yard line. Pass in the end zone. He is held up, and there it is. You knew that was coming. I know the Mill Valley fans don't like to see that, but there was a lot of contact on the way.
It is a little bit cold out, but he was wearing him like a coat.
Like a coat. Like a nice wool glove. Or one of those wool beanies. They say.
And it might be offsetting penalties?
Offsetting penalties. They are going to do that one again. That was so much fun. They say, hey, let's do a replay. Reset the play clock. I think Coach Foster's over there looking for somewhat of an explanation. And I don't know that he's going to get one. The clock has been wound. Plenty of time on the play clock. Late substitution by the Raider offense. 15 on the play clock. Still a little confusion in the backfield for the Raiders. Now with under 10 to play, 10 on the play clock. 1:02 on the game clock. 4th and 10 from the 13-yard line. Jennings takes the snap, looks left over the middle. He had a receiver in and out of his hands. And Mr. Grant Jennings, I feel for you, my friend, because so many times he has been on the money tonight, but the receivers, call it the cold air or whatever it is, the curse of the swamp, or the defense of Mill Valley, whatever the reason, that they have not been able to pull those in. But let's just kind of play the what-if game in the first half. How many times did we see Jennings make a fantastic play? Receivers couldn't come up with it. Had they been able to, maybe turn some of those long receptions that went in and out of their hands into points. This is a completely different game.
Yeah, we're very close to having a very different game if they could pick up. Because I think it's just going to be exponential. If they can pick up one of those, then they get more opportunities.
And here on the left side, that is number 24.
Scobie.
That is Jaden Scobie. He is spelling Tristan Baker. And Coach Appleby and crew, they are running down the sideline, wasting no time to get the next play off. And here's Scobie coming this way. Turns it back upfield. A little confusion on the defense. It kind of looked like the defenders turned the other way, waiting for somebody else to pick him up. I think Serrano came up with a tackle at the end there, but that was kind of the result of maybe some too much practicing the option in practice. There's Scobie again. He's hopping, playing a little hopscotch.
Hopscotching on his way to a first down.
Just enough, and Coach Appleby saying, let's giddy up and go. Start the lawnmower. Not sure what those signs are on the sideline, but animated they are. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of the Raiders. 5, 4, 3 seconds left in the third quarter, and they are not going to get the snap off. So we have 3 quarters in the books and 1 more to go. Your score, Mill Valley, the home team, 28. The Raiders are Shawnee Mission South, hanging as tough as they can. They have 0. But how close have they come to? Really, there's been 2 or 3 potential scoring opportunities, David Trimble, as we mentioned moments ago, that could change the complete complexion of this game.
And I think for that very reason, if you watch Coach Appleby on this near sideline, you would not be able to tell that he is up 28-0. On the previous, when South was marching the ball down, he was on his defense like he was giving them the business from the sideline.
The business.
And, getting up there and telling his offense now on this drive to hurry it up, keep pushing. You wouldn't be able to tell that he's up 28-0 going into the fourth quarter. You would think he's down by a field goal and he needs to get down into scoring position.
Jaden Scobie coming in for Tristan Baker on that last series. And now we see Connor Bohan, the big quarterback. Carpenter pushes Bohan out of bounds, but Connor Bohan, 6'3", 191 pounds, easy for me to say. He's just a junior, the heir apparent for the Jaguars. But there's also another quarterback. Well, there's a couple of quarterbacks with a lot of talent on this roster. One has the last name of Jay, and the other one has the last name of Appleby. If you followed Mill Valley Athletics over the years, you remember the name Hayden Jay. Well, his younger brother, Blake Jay, is a 5'11", 150-pound sophomore quarterback. Many say is one of the more pure passers on this Jaguar team. And also, Holden Appleby, only a freshman, but he is listed as the 4th-string quarterback. Getting a A lot of attention to recruiting services in the upcoming years. More on some of those other players. Bohan kind of gets tangled up in the backfield. Bohan has 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. He hasn't had a lot of luck throwing the ball. Let's be honest. He's got a 19 quarterback rating, 6 for 18. So the damage that he can do, at least right now, is going to be with his legs and his vision.
What is your quarterback rating there, Sean?
0.
0. So he is better than you.
He is absolutely so much better than me. So much better than I ever was. Of course, I was a center. So, and a tight end. And back into the game, Tristan Baker making him pull him down by the ankle. And Carpenter with his 97th tackle of the game. It's ridiculous. Tristan Baker and Jaden Scobie. Also another running back we haven't seen much of this year, but anxious to do so. Young man's got a lot of talent. He's the third Jiggin. That is Kai Jiggin, K-Y-E. Younger brother of Colton. Younger brother of Christian Jiggin. And there's Scobie. But had an opportunity to watch Kai Jiggin last year in a JV game, and he's got the goods. But just kind of goes to show you the depth that this Jaguar team has. 10:05 left in regulation. 28-0. Jaguars driving. Got a 1st and 10 from around the 20-yard line of the Raiders. Bring you up to speed on a couple of scores.
I think Jason Scrift for Shawnee Mission South.
Do you know next week is Friday?
Friday the 12th?
You said Jason. Friday the 12th.
Friday the
There was a movie
14th?
Saturday the 14th, right?
Saturday the
Was that a
14th?
comedy or is that I don't know. Back to the action. Nothing scary about seeing all the dropsies. I don't know what it is about the air tonight, but that's the second one tonight. And Grace got it. When it gets into your head, when you have the dropsies, it's awful hard to get rid of them.
But I like to see that because Mill Valley did not attempt a pass in all of the third quarter.
Do you know that I caught every pass that was thrown to me in high school?
As a center, I think that's illegal, actually.
Well, when I lined up as a tight end, I had 3.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
How many went for touchdowns? 2. Thank you. 7, 6 on the play clock. Plenty of time, Scobie. But here's Bohan. Going to take it himself. Cuts back to the right and into the end zone. Connor Bohan. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Make it 34-0. 9:33 left in this one. And that might have been the one to start to clear out the stands here. There's a lot of people that came underdressed. Not like scantily clad. I know that's what you were thinking, David Trimble, but under we don't see, there's some people in shorts and T-shirts and like myself, but we're up here in the press box where it's nice and warm. But yeah, there's some people that are scurrying out now and trying to get the warmth of their automobile as they ride home from Jaguar Stadium.
And that kick is up, and it's good.
That's a shocker.
35.
Kid Loftman with another one. The kid doesn't miss, I'm telling you.
He's a pretty good little kicker there.
Well, he's a big fella, too. Friends, whether it's balls and strikes, fouls or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work. And you certainly know how they would never miss a call intentionally. We're all human. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events, regardless of the competition level or age group. After all, respecting others, including officials and authority figures, is one of the most valuable and important lessons that we can teach our kids. This message has been brought to you by your friends right here at 810 Varsity, as well as the Kansas State High School Activity Association. And who is this? This is Tommy Turtle, Timmy Trumpet. something trumpet.
Yeah, I can't remember. But whose was it? Whose walkout music was it? Was it
John Cena.
It's just
The Rock.
A baseball closer.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
A baseball pitcher closer.
Okay. Getting Loftman. Lofts that one, taking Earth around the 5. Out to the 15-20. That little hesitation cost that young man, Mr. Johnson, a few yards. And a couple of more Jaguars reaching out and touching it.
I think they're giving him forward progress to the 18.
Well, that is nice.
Where they're going to start.
Glad they do that. Both of these teams have played 5 games. This is their 6th. Mill Valley, after this one, they're going to go on the road next week. They're going to be playing at ODAC, the Olathe District Activities Center. And our complex, yeah, Activities Complex Center.
It ends with a C.
Let's see, corn. Used to be a cornfield, so they call it the Olathe District Activities Cornfield.
I'm not sure if that's right.
I don't either. But if it's wrong, I don't want to be right. But friends, we can tell you that Olathe North is going to be hosting these Jaguars next week. 6A versus 5A. Olathe North hung awful tough to Gardner Edgerton before falling in the last minute. A couple of weeks ago, 21-14. And we know it's brought in by Jake Johnson. He has certainly been a bright spot of this receiving core for the Raiders this evening. But back to the schedule, Mill Valley goes on the road next week to Olathe North. That is a game that you will hear on 810 WHB. Tim Spurl and I think Jeremy Crabtree will be doing that one. They're going to send us over to Lawrence. We got a big showdown between Lawrence and Lawrence Free State. So we'll be over there next. And that is a bad snap that gets away from Jennings, but he's able to get back and fall on top of it. Good heads-up play by the senior signal caller. How impressive has Grant Jennings been? And really this whole offense, and not too many people outside of the aforementioned Blazers from Gardner Edgerton have really had a lot of success against this defensive front. And there is Chayton Woods having to take off his helmet. He was flicking something over. I'm not sure what that was. Like maybe some candy. Forward progress to the 22. Jake Johnson again. Mentioned earlier in the game that these two coaching staffs are very familiar with each other. Head coach Nick Foster was an assistant here. In the second year of their 4-year run that the Jaguars are on in state championships. Coach Jeff White, Coach Trell Johnson, Coach Zach McFall, all assistants right here, part of the Appleby family or coaching tree. It was good to see them kind of reconnect before the game. There's Abe Schaefer trying to get another sack on the season. Somehow, Grant Jennings does another Houdini act. Now, I'm seeing someone on the far side. He's on the field around the 47-yard line. I guess that was a coach. Coach for the Raiders. And here comes the cowbell.
Gotta have more cowbell.
Apparently so.
I'm
Gotta have
not
more
sure if
Christopher Walken movies.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was lobbying for a pass interference but he was rather animated over there.
7-11 in regulation, 35-0. There's a low line drive kick, and again another. Boy, that is playing with fire there, young man. Clayton Songeroth. I think the coaches are going to have a word with him. He comes right up on that ball, and then at the last second decides, I think I'm going to let that one go, but he kind of sticks around, hangs around in the area. That is they say that's sort of a poison. Got to stay away from it.
But that was a great kick by Jake Johnson. The snap was high, almost got over his head. He had to get up off his feet for that one, and then to be able to get that down to the 25.
Connor Bohan back into the game for the Jaguars. He's going to run it. Might have dropped the ball. Raiders said that it did hit the turf, but looks like Mill Valley got back on top of it. But there are some people at the bottom of that pile. There's
not wanting to let go of the ball.
And that was Fisher. Yeah, Preston Fisher. Good heads-up play by the 6'2", 195-pound senior tight end, Preston Fisher. Got 3 receptions on the year. Important fumble recovery right there. Bohan waits for the snap. Hands it off to Baker. Baker Parton, that is Scobie. He's got a first down. Rolls his way. Bowling balls his way to midfield.
He has definitely got some bounce and ability to change direction.
Sort of like my fourth wife. She could change direction like you would not believe. And I thought everything was going just fine, and bam, out of nowhere.
Well, fifth time's the charm.
Fifth time's the charm. Hey, you know what? I'm holding out hope. She's out there somewhere. Hand off. Scobie. Look at him go. How does he get out of that bear trap? He gets out of the bear trap, turns his back, and he gets lit up. What a tough run by the senior Jaden Scobie. 191-pound, 6-footer. Ran for over 200 yards now. This year he averages a remarkable 8.3 yards a carry. The longest is 45 yards. He got a touchdown in the season. Happened last week. I think everybody was like Oprah handing out cars. You get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown. En route to a 77-point win over Olathe South for Mill Valley, setting a new school record. Bohan going to hand it off. This is going to number 40. Number 40, number 1 in our hearts.
Reggie Reese.
That's Reggie Reese. The sophomore Reggie Reese. 6'1", 178 pounds.
Like to see them getting the underclassmen involved here.
Oh, absolutely.
I think they're pretty secure in the victory on this one. 35-0.
Right. 5 minutes left. You know, and I had a chance to talk to Coach Foster earlier this week, and I asked him, tell me about your time here at Mill Valley. Working with Coach Appleby, as we see again, Reggie finally tripped up after a gain of 7.5, maybe 8 yards. He makes that look a little bit too easy. Good grief. He is going to be fun to watch in the coming years.
And
only a sophomore.
It looked like he was going to be going down, but then all of a sudden he just popped up through the crowd of people and picked up 7 yards.
Indeed. Kind of like us at a buffet. Just when people think we're going to be down, we pop right back up, go for another plate. But that time, Reggie doesn't have as much luck. But as I was saying about Coach Foster, Nick Foster, head coach for the Raiders, and I'm going to just quote him verbatim. He said, "Working at Mill Valley really taught me how to have a great work ethic and to be disciplined in my job and responsibilities," said Coach Foster. "I was the only new coach at the time that joined the staff in 2019 and didn't want to stand out for the wrong reasons." Coach said, "I noticed right away how committed each coach was and how hard they worked. I learned to become a much more disciplined coach in my prep and work ethic."
And
you might say, well, what does Coach Appleby have to say about this other coaching staff?
I was just getting ready to ask you that question.
Well, go ahead and ask me that question.
What does Coach Appleby have to say about his opponent, Coach Foster?
Well, I'm gonna quote Coach Appleby. Coach Appleby tells me that all the coaches at Shawnee Mission South are doing a great job building the program. He says that you can see the improvement in the play on a weekly basis. Coach McFall, Coach White, Coach Johnson, Coach Foster. We're all great coaches for us here at Mill Valley, and we're a big part of our success during their time here.
And it looks like there might have been a fumble
Bohan,
on that one.
He dropped one on the turf earlier, able to get that one recovered by a fellow Jaguar, but Jennings comes up with the recovery on that one. 3:27 left, and if you're the Raiders right now, Sure. I think the odds are against you that you're going to be able to score 35 or 36 points, either to send this to overtime or to win this one outright. But you got to look for signs of progress, just something that you can build from. To be able to put together a sustained drive, it's going to be starting at the 32-yard line of the Raiders. And back in at quarterback is Grant Jennings. What a workhorse he is.
Earns himself the right to be QB.
I'm just impressed with this young man. He makes some great throws. There's another one. Johnson, well, helmet to helmet, pushes out around the 36. Maybe not out of bounds. Clock's going to run. 3:14, 3:13.
And credit to the Raider defense. They're not giving up yet. I mean, they're in there fighting for the ball, getting that turnover.
2nd and 5. Jennings gets a snap, ends it off. That is Johnson again. That's probably going to be a hold. While we wait for that to get sorted out, looking ahead for the Raiders and the rest of their schedule this year, the regular season schedule. Next week, they are going to play host to Olathe South. Falcons going to go visit Shawnee Mission South off there between Metcalf and Knoll.
435 and Knoll.
435. Adjacent sort of to Top Golf in a kind of way. A little bit west.
Yeah, a little bit.
And after that, then they're going to wrap up their season at Olathe West at Seaback. That is a Thursday night game. Another Thursday night game, this one for Mill Valley, will be their season, the last regular season game. That's going to be in 2 weeks, or really 13 days right here. And that'll be the next time that I think you and I are going to be on a broadcast. And I think all 3 or 4 of us, which is now is a great time to mention the great work of Hayden Kelo on the camera. He is always a steady hand and a nice grab by Serrano, C.J. Serrano.
Ooh,
Good
and
to
I'm
see
not sure
him.
which one I like better, the pass or catch.
Right.
Threaded a little bit of a needle on that one. That was a nice throw and catch.
And they are matriculating down the field. Not quite in Mill Valley territory yet. 4 yards away. Single back is Johnson. Jennings gives it to Johnson. Goes to the left. And he goes down. He is going down hard. Loss of about 4, 3, something like that. The combined record of Shawnee Mission South coming into this game, including Mill Valley, is 19-11. Now the combined record for Mill Valley, 11-19.
Interesting
Numbers
how
behind
that
the
works
numbers.
out.
Indeed it does. Total points scored this year. What if I told you that Shawnee Mission South has outscored Mill Valley this year? Would you call me a liar, David Trimble?
Mill Valley put up 77 points last week.
Last week.
I would call you a lying liar.
You would be wrong. 218 points scored this season coming into this game for Shawnee Mission South. Only 208 for Mill Valley. Numbers behind the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have, if you were a betting man,
And
I would have
not.
just lost some money on that one.
Less than a minute to play here as we see man in motion. 3rd and 15. Long way to go to continue this drive. Right over the middle, and here the speedster Johnson might just have enough for that first down. No timeouts left, but the clock will stop to move the chains.
And you got to appreciate the big lineman out there in front of him being a lead blocker for him.
1st and 10, clocks are running 33, 32. Not a lot of time left. Jennings and company trying to get something on the board. 22, 21, pass to the right side. Going to be caught and down inside, and that might do it. 14, 13, unable to stop the clock. Looks like they might come in and try to, with 7, 6, 5. Are they going to try to clock or to down it here? I don't know that they got that one down. Oh, that was awful close. And I don't think they're going to do it. Now they're going to say that they weren't. Well, as we wait here, Mill Valley's acting like it's over. And Coach Appleby's going right to the official and kind of giving him an earful. That'll be a teachable moment for all around, and the officials, they do a great job. Friends, this game has been another production of A10 Varsity and A10Varsity.com, your home for high school sports across the entire region. You can visit A10 Varsity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get the latest news on your favorite teams, check out player stats, and so much more. As always, a big thank you to everyone back in the A10 Varsity Mothership, including Nolan Rader and Charlotte and Linda, everybody else who feeds the squirrels and keeps the power flowing. Big shout out to our great camera operator high atop the press box here at Jaguar Stadium, Haley Kilo, a Mill Valley sophomore. And as usual, does just a fantastic job grabbing the video. Next Friday, Mill Valley takes on another Sunflower League foe in Olathe North. That game will be held at ODAC, the same venue that Mill Valley visited last week when they defeated Olathe South. That game will be covered by WHB 810 good friend Tim Spurl and Jeremy Crabtree on the action. Yours truly and David Trimble are going to be heading west down I-70 for a big crosstown matchup between Lawrence Free State. Shawnee Mission South will play their first will play a home game against Olathe South at Shawnee Mission South. Direct links to the broadcast of all the Mill Valley and Shawnee Mission South games like those next week can be found at 810varsity.com. Once again, your final score, Mill Valley 35, Shawnee Mission South 0. On behalf of my partner, as in good friend, not the other kind of partner, David Trimble, I'm Sean Brewer saying thanks for joining us on 810 Varsity and good night.